So there's this hummingbird trapped in a customer's basement during a routine summer maintenance call. Nothing special, checking the filter, heating, cooling, getting them ready for the year. And then from the open door, this bird comes in and slams itself right into this old glass window over and over, panicking. It, it doesn't know it's glass. It just knows there's light on the other side and it can't get through. This has definitely happened to me before. So, even though I'm supposed to be checking the furnace, walk on over and start talking to a bird. Hey, bud, that's a window. Um, would you be okay with me helping you out? I slowly approach and cut my hands around him. He eventually calms down. I walk over to the door, the open one that it flew in, and I open my hands and it flies away. Nobody paid me to do that. It wasn't on the invoice. But you know what review that customer left me? It wasn't anything about the maintenance. It was about the bird. It was a genuine experience, and they appreciated it. People probably picture the guy who gets requested by name as some big personality. Life of the party, walks in, lights up the room. Yeah, that's not me. I'm not shy. Definitely can't be shy in this industry, but I'm definitely not an extrovert. When I got out of the army and went to HVAC school in Texas, they asked us, if someone could only know one thing about you, Stephen, what would it be? And thinking back, honestly, without even having to really mull it over, I said, well, I hope when I'm done with each job that they ask for me by name because of the experience we had. I think that'd be really important to me. And after all these years, I think it comes down to two different things. One, I notice problems for a living: bad motor, failing compressor, missing refrigerant, dirty filter, broken thermostat, whatever it is. I see it, I want to fix it. That's just how my brain works. That's why I'm there, right? But that noticing doesn't turn off when I clock out. I notice people too, what they're worried about, what they're not saying. I'm genuinely curious about them. And I try and be kind about it. Not performing kind, just kind. And it's not a work thing, curious and kind. That's kind of how I move through my whole life. It's not a switch I flip on when I put my work uniform on. And honestly, I think that's exactly why the conversations that I have with people, customers at work, or anybody else, end up feeling real instead of transactional. And look, I'm not out here chasing 5-star Google reviews. It feels nice to get them, but that's not the goal. If it were, it would feel fake. People can tell, you know. People have BS meters. That is for sure, especially when you are in their house and they know there's an exchange of money at the end. What I'm actually after is a 5-star experience. And honestly, at the end of the job, all I'll do is ask, hey, did that feel like a good experience to you? And the reviews? That's just what happens when the answer is, well, yeah, it was. Because I can't help wanting to have a little fun with things. Whenever I explain my thought process to other techs or people I'm mentoring, I started to think about it almost like a game. Not quite bingo, honestly. That's purely random. More like poker or Yahtzee. You can't control every card you're dealt or dice you roll, but, you know, some houses, some days, some customers, it's just different. But there still is skill in how you play with what you get. So I made this 24 different experiences, little moments, remembering somebody's name, explaining what you checked, not just what broke. connecting with their dog. None of these guarantee anything by themselves. But the more that you actually mean, the more bingos you actually get. 5-star experiences. And that middle square, I call it middle instead of free space because it's really the whole game. They felt heard, informed, and genuinely taken care of. Everything else on this board is just a different way of getting there. And I'll be honest, I don't know why it feels as good as it does to help people like that. Solve their problems, sure, but make them feel taken care of, that just hits different, especially in the trades. Especially on days when it's your fourth or fifth call, they offer you a Red Bull because you're sweating, but you brought your A game and you're there with bells on. Maybe it's the same for you, whatever it is you do. Maybe your version of free space is not the same as mine, but I bet you know the feeling when you get there. Anyway, this board's got 24 ways in. Let's walk through them a few at a time, sharing real stories on the next episode. I'll see you there.